Intertextuality is explained as a property of text specifically linked to other texts. The film Fallen takes intertextuality from Lauren Kate's book, as well as the Bible, angel mythology, fantasy and romance genre. In terms of intertextuality, the opening of the film refers to the angel rebellion against God in the Book of Revelation. In comparison to the version from the Bible, the film chooses to divide the angels into three: those on the side of Lucifer, those on the side of God, and those who failed to choose and fell to earth, with the angel that chose love over everything else. When we are introduced to the angels, it is difficult to discern whose side they are on. Perhaps the fact that they fell before they could choose allows them some ambiguity as to the decisions they make. In the first scene in which we see Luce, it shows you a prospectus for the assumed place she is heading. Bright colours and positive images, and yet everything around her contradicts this. Let's look at that again. Her mother is crying, outside the car it is dull, and she is surrounded by rolling fog. This presents us with the idea that perhaps the prospectus is lying, and where Luce is going is not such a positive place. This is called pathetic fallacy, in that the weather and the setting is personified to tell us the mood of the scene. In this case, the fog is an indication of evil or darkness, or the idea that something bad is to come. In the book, we get all of this through Luce's entrance to Sword and Cross. They talk about meds and the fact that Sword and Cross is a reform school, telling the reader that Luce is there because she committed some form of crime worthy of a prison sentence. The Bible and fallen angels are an established aspect of the film. We are introduced to a number of characters, all of whom seem to have some kind of secret, and who seem to know Luce, though they have clearly never met.
Luce goes down in flames just like always.
It becomes clear that whatever the story is about, she is the final piece to the secret that they have been keeping. We learn more about this when Miss Sophia teaches them about the fall. This scene is vital to the film, as we learn an incredible amount of information. It is one of the first scenes in the film that has all of the angels in it, aside from Cam. When Miss Sophia refers to the angels on Earth siding with God or Lucifer, we get a hint at which angels have sided with who. Look at the reactions of those in the room.
Align themselves with Lucifer, finding pleasure.
We get here the sense that Roland and Molly have chosen the side of Lucifer, leaving Danielle and Gabrielle on the side of God. They sit divided in the room, even though we have seen that they spend their time together. Their appearances indicate where their loyalties lie. Molly and Roland have a dark style, all falling in line with the appearance of Cam and the decision to follow Lucifer. However, Ariane, who sits with Molly and Roland, is more difficult to figure out. Her appearance is dark, and she often chooses to join in with some of the others' mischief. Yet she is kind, and she shows how much she cares for Luce, more than most of the others do. At the opposite side of the room, Daniel and Gabrielle wear light clothing, their hair blonde, showing that perhaps they chose the side of God. From the beginning, we know that one of them chose love, and by this point we can safely assume that this is Daniel, as he fiercely protects her from the threat he fears Cam poses, whilst also doing his best to stay well away. Which side each angel chose, however, is shown at the end, when they finally reveal who they truly are. During the film, Miss Sophia also quotes Milton's Paradise Lost. Satan says this once he has been banished to hell. He tells himself this to help himself cope with the loss of heaven. If he can believe that hell can be like heaven, then perhaps he can cope with the aftermath of the fall. This can be applied to the angels in Fallen, as it was Daniel who chose to fight for love, and as a result, took the other angels with him. Similarly, Miss Sophia quotes St. Augustine in Latin.
Humilitas homines sanctis, angelis similis facit, et superbia ex angelis demonis.
This shows us that Miss Sophia believes it was pride that led to the fall of the angels, as Daniel went against the idea that God knew better and chose to pursue love. Gerard Genette created 5 categories in his theory of intertextuality. One of these is architextuality. In terms of genre and architextuality, Fallen takes from the classic love story. 2 people in love but destined to be apart is a recurring theme throughout history, in both films and stories. However, Fallen places a bit of a spin on this. We join the story in their first, and possibly last, life together, where there is the possibility of Luce not dying should she find out Daniel's true identity. The romance genre allows the audience a certain level of expectation, that the 2 lovers will face many obstacles both before and after they fall in love, and yet knowing that they will overcome all of these obstacles together. In terms of an adaptation, Fallen really uses its intertextual references to help build a well-rounded story and strong, interesting characters.